other side of that intersection, you're mighty close to the business on that northwest corner.
I'm afraid we're going to take away all of the parking and extra parking that we've agreed to provide Darren to make his business feasible.
But that's an agreement if there's a roundabout. I realize we've solved the nuts and stuff for a lot of people, me too, but these people have kind of softened up on something you've offered, but they still don't want the roundabout. They would prefer not to have it. It's not, I don't think that anybody's really agreeing or happy that lives there, unless maybe you are.
I'm happy.
Okay.
I do want to see the road repaved.
Yeah, everybody wants the road repaved.
This is the first, sorry to interrupt, John. This is the first one of these in a while that you and Betty have been able to make. I would like to ask, what is your preference as far as a roundabout versus a stop sign?
You want to give me 2 minutes?
Absolutely, you come on up.
You have more than 2 minutes.
So I do want to just go on the record. Everybody understands that the stop sign alternative will require more right-of-way. This is what this map shows. On every corner of the
I'm asking you to forgive a little bit of
Yes, that's what you just said, because y'all are giving away the wiggle room down here. Why can't we do that right here?
I mean, you're getting exceptions on other things you're doing. Why can't we have a little exception in here too? That it doesn't have to be perfect.
It's working now. Everybody else speak, and then Jill and I will try to figure out how to explain to you why the stop sign takes more right-of-way. And I still think it will take more right-of-way, but we'll let you know.
I'm on up to you, Mr. Mayor.
Council. My name is Hugh Galligan. My wife Betty and I are the resident homeowners on the southeast corner of the northeast of the intersection in question. In by way of background, earlier in my career I was for 6 years a Maryland State Trooper, unfortunately not a Texas Trooper. But I do have some understanding about traffic enforcement, main travel roadway safety, and driver behavior. That is a dangerous intersection. And it's not because it's an offset at all. That has nothing to do with it. It's aggressive drivers. And I noticed the city put four-way stop there, which is great. And then because drivers weren't seeing the tall stop sign going toward the base on meandering, they put a little stop sign with a base of a steel wheel rim, which was run over 10 times, and it's on the center divider in 2 weeks. I don't know how they do that, bad drivers. But that's a dangerous intersection for a number of reasons, and it's not going to be improved, in my opinion, by putting a roundabout in it. It will not improve the safety. So the first time I heard, and Betty and I have been active participants at the town hall meetings BC before COVID. We were not able to attend a couple weeks ago because we were ill, and I apologize for not being present. But that's why I'm here, because I had heard from several people that one or more involved in the planning of this project were saying that 3 of the 4 places on that intersection were for the roundabout, including me. That is a falsehood. I am not, and never have been, for a roundabout at that place. I like the four-way stop sign. It's cheap. And if people would obey the law, then they would be a safe intersection there. But that's a tough one. So that is our stance. I appreciate our neighbors across the street from me. They're great neighbors. And I feel for them as if they lose any property at all. We will also lose property if whatever way that goes. But
if you lose more property for a stop sign, then Dan will come up and explain that. If you lose more property for a stop sign than you would a roundabout, you would still prefer a stop sign because you feel it would be safer.
I'm in it for safety. I love River Oaks, and I was raised here. I was gone 50 years while the government told me where I had to live. As soon as I was able to, I came back home, and this is my home. And I'm excited about the project, meandering project. I think it'll be a beautiful improvement to the city. And I hope it's completed in my lifetime. But I'm not sure. We'll see. But thank you for the time. Mr. Mayor, you were correct. Had I known this, I would never have purchased that parcel, and Don Instant would never have sold it to me without disclosing it, if he knew. Because it's going to be difficult selling that house if I lose more property than I have.
Yes, sir.
It's not what they're going to reimburse me for that little bit. But to take my rock garden, which is my protective barrier from aggressive drivers coming around that corner. So I love our police department. I would encourage our chief to allocate personnel to, on a more consistent basis, show a police presence at that intersection. That's what will make that a safer intersection.
I agree, and I, in particular, like I said, I think after we tear that road up, we replace it, we've broken people of the bad habits, because they'll get used to it being under construction for 2 years. If we get out there in the first couple of weeks, we've got an officer there a couple times a day, then that'll help.
Especially about 3:30 to 4:30.
Yeah.
And Chief, I will give your officers permission to park in my driveway anytime, and I will bring them hot coffee and cold water. Not as a gratuity.
Cold coffee and hot water.
There you go.
Thank you. She was also occasionally the voice of SEC on CBS, if he sounds familiar. So,
Okay.
yes.
You got a little singing too,
Okay. Yep, come on
No,
up.
I'll wait, see if there's other,
Did we have any other,
y'all gonna speak?
questions? Did they have any other input?
No, pues nosotros no queremos perder terreno, nosotros no vamos a firmar por nada.
They don't want to lose any.
Vamos reducidos.
She said it's already really reduced there, because even with the two parking lots that they use, apparently they still park in the street also, because they don't have that much space.
Okay.
So, any other way that they can lose as minimal property would be the way that they would prefer to go.
Okay.
And she said even if they would get compensated, they don't, that doesn't matter to them.
Okay. Thank you.
If you look at that map, they got two driveways, their property, and they park a real nice Ford truck that would be hard to get in and out.
Yes.
With that center, well, it's not even center turn lane, it's gonna be a medium.
Right.
So,
I'd like to ask you a question.
Absolutely.
Dan, how much money in planning from the time y'all received the positive vote from the city council, was it in 2019?
yes, sir.
Okay. So this city approved the roundabout in 2019. At that point, how much time and effort did y'all spend engineering based on that approval to get to where you are today?
We were pre-60% at that point, so we have had a 60% submittal and a 90% submittal. So we had a short gap where we were waiting for some funding to clear, but it's been on and off since 2019. I'd say we probably had about 9 months where we were waiting for some funding to clear.
And on a scale of 1 to 10, how far would you say the design has progressed to accomplish this based on the city's approval? Like, if you started construction, how far are your contract documents along? Are they 90% complete based on that approval?
Yes, they're 90% right now. That's gone through the City of Fort Worth approval and TxDOT also.
Okay.
has
So-
negotiated. To date, we've spent 1.7.
Yeah, our estimate is $1.7 million since we got your approval.
Okay, so as a city, we officially approved a roundabout, whether you like it or don't like it or agree with it or not. And I understand everybody has a different amount of property at stake. So we, as a city, we authorized a government agency to go design something that they spent $1.7 million for. Now we're going to come back 3 years later and say, we changed our mind. So we're going to flush $1.7 million of taxpayers' money down the toilet because we changed our mind.
Well, respectfully, my impression of whenever that happened in 2019 was, yes, that was, we gave them that